Hey, what's going on? Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, we're going to go ahead and get right to it. I am running so behind trying to knock out like 10 different things. Look at this. I got to get a shave and everything. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and get to the charts. NQ is NQ is NQ. That's the best way to say it at this point. Oh, I got to, hold on. I didn't even send the live out. Let me go get the live link. Let people know I am online. If you haven't liked and subscribed or hit the bell button, this is a perfectly good time for you to do so. That way you can go ahead and let friends and family know that I am online. I appreciate every one of my subscribers. Also, if you are looking to get a funded account, by all means, down below is a link, and that link will get you. And we got one more day of the sale. That means this is last call for alcohol. The DJs putting on a spin on the records. They throwing the slow jams on. You know what I'm saying? Drinks is over. Lights on. It's almost time where you're going to miss out on the opportunity. So you're going to get 90% off of the account. So the account as much as $16 again. If you are a new trader, I do not suggest you get any funded account. Keep up with your paper trade. Get consistent and get yourself ready to be able to take something like that. That said, let me go ahead and send these people. We live. We are live, folks. Right here. Boom. And we'll post that right there. There we go. And notify. All right. So here's NQ. NQ is doing something that I found that was very entertaining because we had this massive drop on Wednesday. We did. Right? And then we had this massive drop that was on Tuesday, right? And then we had this massive drop that was on Friday, which was something that started all the way from Thursday, and all of this drop. So all of this conversation that's being made is where do we go from there? So let's go ahead and look at the daily, and we're going to go ahead and look at this. Look at that. We're back inside of the daily fair value gap, right? And I told some people, I was like, we broke inside of the daily fair value gap. We might go bullish. And then we did this massive drop down. I was like, maybe I should have kept my mouth quiet because this thing was pushed in and it was going down. But what I found, oh, the market's already open. See what happens when you're late? Anyways, we'll go ahead and, so if we look at this, this is right here. Bang. What happens is what you want to do when you pick a point anywhere. This is August 5th, massive sell-off, and we had a nice little drawback, and everybody bought up the dip, and we pushed up and made higher highs. The moment we made this higher high, this is our pivot point. When we made this higher high, we got to find that pivot. Here is our pivot right there. Oh, what is this? So technically, we're still riding. Right now, we're still riding October 2023 strand. That's what it looks like to me. And I'm very curious, are they going to take out the rest of this fair value gap and get us up inside of here? All right. So since the market is open, let me go ahead and talk about the strategy that we run here. We run a opening range breakout. So it's very, very simple. I look at the 15-minute chart, take the first 15 minutes, and we block out what is the area where we are bullish or bearish. And then we take the first 5 minutes that actually closes above or below. And that's the direction we're going to go ahead and take our trades. So that is what we're looking for. And also, what we also do is my market dominance. Market dominance, I designed it around the 45-minute on NQ, and I really love it around that time. So we are looking for when the indicator kind of let us know there's opportunities, which, again, we took a trade yesterday, and it was all based on the opportunity, right? So here's a couple of things that happened yesterday. We had a massive pull to the downside right here, and as soon as that happened, market dominance said, hey, we should be going green. That was the first instance of that. We did not go green. We actually put in a fair value gap. And I kind of talked about it. I was like, wait, we have an opening range breakout and it was below the level. We might break out to that downside. I generated about 1K. Hopefully you did too, or whatever your profits is. Congratulations. But you can see when we got to this level, there was going to be another type of test, right? So you can see it said green here. It was wrong, or was it? Well, it did had a nice little pullback of about 50, 77 ticks before it dropped. So technically, you probably would have made 77 ticks and then went ahead and switch your position depending on your savvy, your knowledge of trading, and this is what we come to play. But that second one right here, it stayed green and it started this whole entire run. So we actually played both the upside, sorry, the downside and the upside. And when we started trending here, we ended the day really, 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 really green and had a lot of fun doing that. So let's go ahead and get into it some more. This is gold right now. So gold, what's happening with gold, and I've already explained to you, we are still in that order block and we haven't done anything spectacular. It's going to get choppy from a daily perspective, but choppy on a daily does put some areas of trend, and I had an inverse head and shoulder right here that failed, and then they're starting to take some upside again. So I think they're still sweeping inside of oil. If we go over to gold, oh my God. I was talking to one individual in the community, and I was explaining to him, I was like, well, if you think about it, this is a micro trend to the major trend, and if we made the micro trend go and break through, that means the major trend should not gain strength. And what ended up happening? This was a micro trend to the micro trend, right? Hold on. Let me take it a step back, because I know I kind of could confuse some new folks. We have what I deem is a overall major trend that started back in October 2023. That's where we really boil it down, right? And when we made this massive move, there are your micro trends. You got a couple here, like this was a micro trend back down to the downside early 2024, and then you got this one right here where it's trying to make some lower lows, because these are micro trends. They didn't break any key support, but at the end of the day, those are very key micro trends, right? But when the micro trend actually takes over, that is when everything kind of, goes to your benefit. And you can see right here, this was a micro trend that took over and continued to the downside, broke below this level. And what did it do? They recovered it with another micro trend. That means buyers are stepping in. Do not try to be the buyer. Let me put the camera on it. Do not try to be the buyers that's trying to get right inside of here. That is for more advanced and more affluent traders and also market makers. This breakout right here looks like a morning star, very janky though. And when we broke back above this trend line, your stop loss should have been right here. And I'm gonna see if I can find the video where I went into detail about this. And I was like, they're wedging price, and I think it's gonna break out. And this was a nice little opportunity. This right here is just 17 points right by itself, 17.9. Almost 18 points. That's a lot of money, especially if you're getting $10 a tick. Anyway, moving on. Silver, I've explained this to you. It will drag gold, but look at what's happening now. Bang. Bang. So what's going on, silver? You was like the oracle. You was the man, homie. You used to tell us what was going to happen with gold. Why are you selling off? I feel like this is a prelude to a kiss. They might be trying to get into this fair value gap on gold, and then there's going to be a little bit of a divergence. Silver is breaking away, right? It's dropping on silver, but gold is still rising. Why? All right, let's go ahead and get into the British pound. So the British pound is right here. So I like this support to kind of give it that reversal, and then we're probably going to push to the upside. This is going to be interesting because, again, the US dollar is gaining, and if the US dollar continues to gain, the euro, the British pound, and all of them should continue to fall. So this is going to be very interesting if they can recapture this candle. Sorry, not this candle, this downward trend, break it, and continue to get back above 1.28. ES, look at that. Doji. So we just keep on putting these dojis, kind of similar to what's going on over here, right? So I think there is some profit taking that's happening, or the fact that we are coming to a key level of resistance. If I was down here, right, and I got into ES and it got up to here and pulled back to here, I'm gonna start thinking about getting my money out, right? Because I already got all this August 5th profit, and I think that's what's happening. Here's the Russell. The Russell is trying to power itself right on top of the order block. I got this block that's over here, and you can see all-time highs is all the way over here, and we got this area here right around 2021. So I'm thinking that this area is going to be an extremely tough area. We already broke down to here, used it as resistance, and if now we came back and revisited it, that's our rejection. Now we're above it. Can this hold? Is this the one that's going to go ahead and really shift the market cap, where they're taking all their capital out of the bigger companies? I've already said this before, out of NQ, your ES, and start doing more domestic work. Trump's in office, so maybe make America great again. That's part of the game that they're going to go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and get into the dollar. All right, so the dollar is doing this. Again, I cannot adjust this trend line. I think I did this on the 1 hour. Let me come down a little bit, right? I cannot move this trend line. Actually, I'm probably going to have to find out. You know what? Let's just start all the way over, right? So this is our upward trend line. It's on this angle itself. That's our 2 hour. And we got a deviation of that trend line right here. And I cannot move that trend line because we haven't made a higher high. So we are breaking down a current trend line, but we have multiple layers of trends that could catch this and continue that support. The stochastic is below here, but the MACD is still on this upper register. So I am very curious because we have broken this. This was a tough area in April 2024, which is now giving me a new target, which will bring us all the way back to October 23. If the dollar strengthens and gets above the October lows, I'm sorry, highs here, right? I will venture to think that the market is going to go ahead and start really falling. So could this be the part of the Santa rally and continue up? Maybe they start to take their profits, find a new level. Could we get into this area right here where it looks like we got ourselves a little bit of a kick from this expiration? And I think I remember this when we used to really pay attention to the dollar back in 2022 at the old community. Could this be where they're aiming for? Get around that 107? I'm going to leave that right there. We'll figure it out. All right, let's go over checking NQ. We're going to go ahead and start boxing out. Like I said, we only trade one type of strategy, which is basically on the 15-minute. And you can see, ooh, that 15-minute is juicy. They are pulling this thing all the way back down. Let's see. So what we're looking for is something like this. I would be bullish if price action closes the 5-minute after the close of this candle, of course. If it actually stays above this level with the 5-minute and breaks above and closes. So we're like somewhere around 10 minutes from finding that out. And if it keeps, I'm going to just put this down here because it looks like they're going to go down that low. All right, so we're going to be bearish below whatever level that finishes that 15-minute. And at this point, this wick right here. All right, so that is what we're looking for. So let's see what happens. That said, I do have a couple things I want to go over. Let's go ahead and go on my volumes list first before we get too deep into the weeds. I have a couple things. We got Microsoft. Microsoft did fall a little bit. So I want to go ahead and pull this up. And you can kind of see, look at what they're doing now. They're pulling this bad boy back after it looks like it was going to break out. And I had a conversation with some of the community. I was like, well, we never really filled the rest of this gap, so I'm looking for this to kind of continue. This is ex-dividend date, so I had a feeling there would have been a pullback anyways. So I'm going to see, can this hold this area? Because I think that's going to be part of a recovery. Now, here's Microsoft on dividends. It tends to do, here's your ex-dividend date, pops, drops. Here's your ex-dividend, pops, drops. Here's your ex-dividend date. Well, they already had drop. Get a little bit of a pop later, but then they come back and retest it, and then that's when they took off. So I'm thinking something along the lines of, this is going to give me a pop, fill the gap, and then drop, maybe even come up to this order block. So we'll see what happens. If this day actually pans out, I may consider adding to my position on that level like that as far as the angle. The other one I want to talk about is NVIDIA. NVIDIA had their earnings yesterday. And their earnings was, I guess they want to call it lackluster, but it's more than this one. Maybe it was their guidance. I don't know what it was. But they got up to that 152 level. And to be honest, I won't be surprised that people were just like, well, you know what? 150 bucks. I'm happy with my profits. Let me go ahead and take some profit off the table. That is another reason I would think that NVIDIA would hold that, would break below that 150 because they just wanted to see that price so they can start taking their profits. And you can kind of see we're still on this August trend. And if we go ahead and take this one right here, I've been charting the video on this chart in a long time. This is our uptrend. The moment we break this line, we're going to fall right back into this order block. But if we don't, we're going to continue to the upside. I love to see where NVIDIA goes from here. I think it has more upside, even though it's a little toppy. Here's our oscillators. Here's our weekly oscillators. Here's our monthly oscillators. This thing has been running like a track star. Eventually, I have to go ahead and drink some water. All right, let's go back over to NQ. We're almost done with our 15-minute. We got like 3 minutes left. Still holding that level. Still holding that level. Let's go ahead and adjust that right there. Let's see what happens there. Let's be a little accurate with it. Let me go ahead. Ooh, excuse me. Let me double click here. You can tell I work a lot. Let's see. Our high is 905.75. So let's go ahead and change this. 905.75. So we'll be bullish about there. And right now our low, I might have got it right. 628.25. 28.25. All right. So we're good to go. Let me get that. Let's get that. Let's get that. All right, let's go ahead and continue my volume list. Who else is out there? And we got a lot of volume. Coca-Cola is probably a dividend play. Target. I haven't seen Target in a long time. They made me mad. But then again, I was a different type of trader then. So maybe I should go back and revisit Target. Ooh. Looked like the pandemic did not help you, right? So if you don't know what happened with Target, a little after the pandemic, a lot of these vendors, they over-ordered their supplies along the way. And roughly around 2021 to 2022, there was like an over surplus. So they were just offloading a lot of dead inventory, or I wouldn't say dead inventory, but out of season inventory, because we're in a city and state and country of consumption. So we sit here and want the 2024 version, even though we still got the 2023. Look at iPhone users. So I think they were starting to look like they were going to go ahead and rebalance themselves. It looked like they were starting to really make a push, like everything was fine. Let me grab the other earnings, especially like this one right here, nice and solid. But you missed drastically, 20%. Now, they have shored up revenue, so I do think it's just the margins probably affected them, especially going into Black Friday. I could see this getting even lower. Yeah, so I don't like this for a stock if you're going to do an investment. But if they have a way of turning this around, maybe get past the season, maybe even fill this gap back down to 112, maybe go back and recapture if they got some good news going out in January. We'll see how the sales are. That's Target. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to the NQ. NQ is about to finalize. There we go. Got the alert. Here's our 15-minute. All right. So that's my 45-minute alert, letting me know, hey, we've been bearish for a while. What do you think? And right now, I think that we're going to go ahead and start trending back up. We kind of tweezed bottom this area here, and I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and try to get another push into that area, especially that we done shifted a lot of these things into bullish. Let me go ahead and get my other chart ready, because I may take a small, tiny trade here. Like tiny, like when I mean tiny, I'm like talking about 50 cents tiny, like I'm going to micros. I don't even feel like spending $5 per tick right now. I really want to just do like 5 cents. If there was a way to get a micro, just to kind of toy with an idea. I am not a range trader. I've been toying with some strategies around range trading. This falls into the category of range trading, and I really want to kind of test something I've been playing around with. So that's why I'm like, I ain't going to take a tiny position. So we'll see how that goes. So far, actually, yeah, I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna stick with the mic. Let me stay disciplined, because I did say ranges we're gonna lower our leverage. That's how the rule breaks down. All right, so now I am going to be very curious about the level here, roughly between 20. Oh, they liquidated the bears right there. That's the sound. That means it hit my target. So I'm thinking that 724, which is roughly around where we just wicked just now, down to 677 on what type of conversation that they're having. Are they going to go ahead and try to recapture this whole entire area, and everybody that was bullish just gets out the way because this cascading mountain of bears are going to go ahead and take over? That's a possibility. We got like 2 minutes and 53 seconds left, so I am considering probably playing more to the upside on this little short, small little trade. So we'll see how that goes. Starting to break above that 24, 20, yeah, 724 level again with some strength. All right, let me go ahead and consider myself. Yeah, I got a lot of bullish sentiment on some of this stuff, so I won't be surprised that this was just like a little retest to kind of see where they want to go with it. Let me see, 945. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, so I got a level of 700. So we got above the 700 level. That played a part. Let me go ahead and get my option contracts ready. So I'm thinking that 700 level is going to be a little area that they would want. That 724 is another area that they would want if they were going to try to reverse this. But if we stay above both of them, that will give a little bit of a challenge in itself. I'm going to hit you back. No, thank you. All right. Got about a minute and 17 seconds here. And you can see with the stochastic, we're starting to curl up. But I don't like the fact that this 5-minute MACD is down here. That's why I'm a little cautious on what I'm saying here, because this thing could turn around if it really wanted to. Got 51 seconds. About to take over this whole entire fair value gap here. A real entry would have been roughly around that 700. That would have been about 50 points. 50 points is basically 200 ticks. Oh, look at that spike up 70. Oh, I think they're almost to that fair value gap. If you were to try to get into something like this, you could get easily wiped out because your stop loss would have to be a little bit tight. So that's why we always tell you to just, get that support and resistance. That's the job. That's the overall job. All right, so we got a little bit of an order block that we got to get through inside of here. I call this transition order blocks because we transition candles. So I have this area right here that could be a little tough in case this thing pulls back, but I will not be surprised we put in a 5-minute fair value gap and start to really take over. And I am looking at possibly, which is going to be different. I don't normally do this, but again, that's why I'm going with 50 cents a tick. Okay, you're breaking that out. All right, short-term bearish. Somebody's really trying to get in touch with me. All right, it's almost to my mark where I'm like, this might not be short-term bearish anymore. But I was looking for a rejection of this block, and I thought that was the rejection. Yeah, they just hit my stop there. All right, so 80 bucks to see if I was right or wrong. So now, what I want to see here is a break above with some strength and momentum above 82, and then we're probably going to fly right through this block. See, another rejection. Another rejection. Hard rejection again. I think they're just being jerks at this point. Which I'm doing something a little different. Hold on. Let me come back to y'all. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. I had to really take that as one of my drivers. Um, okay. So I did take a small piece right here. Let me go ahead and put my P&L up here. And boom. It switched screens again. Let's fix that problem. I wonder why it does that. And that's just so annoying. Just extremely, extremely annoying. Alright. So right here I took about let me put this halfway. I took about $100. Nice little $100. Can't knock it, right? I'll take $100 anytime. Let's see what the market has. Oh, it's still falling. And I'm over here trying to show y'all this. All right, so we're below here. And we need the 5 minute to close below that level. Let's go check out my other positions. I think a lot of this happened because... Why is that happening? I don't get that. It's a vertical. I gotta really talk to Thinkorswim. And Microsoft is getting its butt whipped again. I don't know if it's gonna find its base. I think that thing's gonna keep on going down. MSTY is doing its job. I'm gonna see if this pullback is just a pullback and then we're gonna continue back to the upside. We'll see. Ooh. They liquidating those that thought they're gonna get an opening range breakout to the bottom. If this reverses to the upside, we're basically this thing is doing one of those liquidation sweeps. Everyone that probably tried to get back in for that upside. All right, let me get rid of the P&L. You don't need that. Get that away. That was jerkish. I'm happy that Power E-Trade came out with a web version. I wonder if it has more features. I think I'm gonna do the download today. Also, if you don't have a prop firm, this is a good time to go ahead and get yourself one. Again, this is not for new traders. It's not for the weak of heart. But you can get an account as low as $16 up until tomorrow. So don't let the opportunity fly by. Click the link down below. The account. So I usually end this video roughly around 10:15. Let's see how this goes. See, this is why we wait for our 5 minutes to close. It looked like it was gonna break below, but they came back and with a vengeance. But this 5 minute does look like they're pushing it back down. Let me go ahead and look at some other time frames and make sure that we are on point, because I think we're starting to still got some bullish momentum in some other time frames. This could be just only a pullback, but we'll see what happens. If this thing builds a base here, gets back above 682 or 628, kind of did a little dyslexia there. 628. It could reverse this whole entire thing and push back up. All right, we close below. I am looking for us to kind of break out of and probably hold below 612. Let me make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing, because we already had a little bit of momentum. Oh, never mind. Actually, I should have been possibly in from around 650. This looks like it's going to close below here. Let's take a small position. See what type of momentum we get out of this. You know, they're pushing up. Don't you dare push up to my stop loss. I just got in this trade. So if we're going to get a continuation from the 5 minute, it would have to probably explode down here. But it looks like they're buying up the dip before that happens and kind of try to create a tweezer bottom style here. All right. Let's see if we can get ourselves some targets. Let's come up to the 15 minute. We just broke below this area here. Let's see how that holds. Oh, that sucks. I had $100 and they just kind of swung this thing a little bit against me, especially that buy up that they just did just there. Are we gonna hold this? That was a deep pullback. I'm gonna hold. Oh, we're gonna break down. I'm looking for us to get back to that trend line. You see that blue line, how it's angled? That's what I'm looking for. Alright, we're back at this level where we just did that ridiculous bounce. Oh, and we broke right there. Oh, come on. Let me just get out of this. This thing is a little choppy. I think the real position I should have been in was at 653. So it showed me $100 and then they took it back to like 29. So a little choppy. I'll let them have it. Let me just get out the way. Especially I feel like I got in a little late. That's what it boils down to. Yeah, what I should have did. And I realized that was a 10 o'clock candle that closed below here. That's what kind of threw me off a little bit. I should have already got myself relatively prepared at the end of here. That would have been in this, and that would have been somewhere around the close of that candle. Where are we? 10 on. Yeah, roughly around 10:01 would have been a good entry. So being late to the party, you just bow out gracefully. If you ever feel like, yeah, that would have been better, it probably was the right one. Just get out the way. Look at this. You see? That's what I'm talking about. You see how they kind of like push this up? And we were close to that trend line. Now, if you don't remember what that trend line is, let me come back out a little bit. On the daily, this is the trend line that we were on, right? And I was like, this is all the way from October, right? They're about to test it for the 3rd time. So if this line breaks, we might free fall. Actually, you know what? Microsoft, I'm not happy with you. I think I'll get back in at a later time. Because you're not doing what I thought you could be doing. Oh, I got some day trades on my margin account. Let's go. We'll redeploy that money. Bye-bye, Microsoft. And then let's go ahead and take a peek of other stuff that I have here. AMAT is another one that, you know, with NVIDIA earnings being a little muted, AMAT has been doing this little game. And I thought this would be the new trend. And they gapped it down after earnings. I want to see this gap get filled. That's what I've been looking for, and it has some potential, especially we just did ex-dividend date. Ugh. Ugh. No dice. I don't like it. And that idea goes out the window. We'll leave that one alone. All right, let's go ahead and look. Oh, another one I was looking at was waste management. And waste management kind of gave me a signal like it was going to go somewhere, and then it decided to give all of it back. So now I am looking for, let's see, where are we? Can it actually break above here? And it looks like they're going to try again to do this, so, and maybe even feel this kick and come back up. Look for waste management north of 219. Maybe. All right, let's see. 5 minutes still closed below here. I'm going to be very patient. I think I'm going to let this candle close, because this could turn into a morning star and go right through the block on this 5 minute. It's trying its best to be bullish. The 15 minute is technically still bullish, and my 45 minute, we haven't broke anything that makes me think I want to be on the downside. What does that mean, Jeff? Well, look at this. We came, we saw, and we conquered this trend line a couple times. Can't break it here, couldn't break it here, and this hasn't made a lower low, and they're trying to break it now. So depending on what happens in the next 15 minutes, I think that's going to be the trend for the day. Just might be. See that? There goes your 5 minute. Flirting with what could be a morning star. Get back into this fair value gap up into 650. 696 was always a tough area. The 695 they use as support, previous resistance. Now, do the Bears have enough strength to really knock it out the park? Alright, we're probably going to end up being bullish. Still gonna be patient. I'm gonna let the market decide what it wants to do before I start trying to jump into this. Again, that is that trend line that I was just explaining to y'all. October 2023's trend line. What the Bears got to respond with. We're coming up to what I have as an order block here, especially the way this price action kind of consolidated here. 696 was a good rejection area for a very, very long time for this week. So I kept that in mind at all times. Let's see what we do with 696 in the next 46 seconds. Leaning bullish, of course, at this point. Not really much of a trade today. Made some money. A solid $100. Sometimes you win thousands, and sometimes it's just $100, and you just gotta accept what the market gives you. See if we can close inside of this fair value gap. This fair value gap is roughly around here. All right, that is a morning star. That's what that is. All right, so I am going to look for a possible continuation, but I am thinking along the lines that what if we look at it from the perspective of staying above 686. I think that's what they're doing right now. I think it was the 696 level. Oh, actually I did that wrong. me cancel the order. Cancel. Oh, cancel. Replace. There we go. More psychological. Let's see if we can like hold this level or really take off here. Because right now we're at the 200 on the 5 minute. I think that's what kind of gave it that hesitation. Again, we're in the bearish point here, but I want to kind of like see if they can hold this and like really make a push to that upside. We are inside of that order block that I was telling you about. So this thing can actually just fail at any point. But what I'm thinking is that we had a lot of momentum on this morning star, that this morning star is going to hold. But again, the market can, do a little bit of a sweep, and then all it does is just engulf this whole entire candle. If that happens, yeah, I'll probably get prepared for a bearish state. It's pulling back a little bit more than I wanted. Yeah, they just broke my key level. See if it recovers it. If it doesn't recover it, I'll just close the position because the candle's not settled yet. And I could imagine that with the fact that they got that 5 minute morning star, that they're going to go ahead and try to retrace and get a better price. 23 seconds. Just weather the storm to see if it recovers. Because I'm banking that these supporters are going to stay in. But I can be completely wrong. This is why. Hey, what's going on? Cheese sliding off the crack. What up, Neil? Good morning. Yeah, it is. And to be honest, like, I won't be surprised that they're using this as liquidity to try to break the October trend line. Question is, how does this fair value gap hold? Nice little bullish candle here that came in. So I don't think the bears got complete control. But it is still a hammer candle. So that means the bears were given quite a bit of control. If we can recapture this wick, then this morning star will probably hold, and then we probably get to the top of the range, which would be this area here. So that's what I'm curious about. Can that actually happen? Yeah, that 5 minute being bearish is not the best place you want to be. It's testing my stop loss again. That area. I'm looking for a potential recovery around here. If it falls through, this thing probably gonna do what Neo says. Cheese sliding. Any cheese slide. Maybe not. Maybe not. Alright, they hit that kind of hard. Alright, we're probably going to catch a piece inside of this fair value gap as they try to recover. But I think they're going to take the rest of this fair value gap and try to ignore this morning star that they just put in. Deeper pullback than I wanted. I'm going to be patient so I can be able to get myself out of here. Alright, got myself out of that. They kind of toyed with it. Yeah, they did not want that fair value gap to pan out. Go ahead. Close out. We'll find another spot. Now that's why I didn't like the fact that we didn't bounce off this trend line. Like we didn't touch this trend line. If we had like touched it then bounced, I think I would have felt a little bit more confident on this. Patience, folks. That's the part. You're waiting for your setup to come. Nice. I tried to play that morning star, but that morning star turned into an evening star. That's how the market does. I thought we could really get this fair value gap here, but there's a lot of bears that was there. All right, so the 5 minute close below here again, so we're probably going to take a bearish position. Yeah, the 5 minute reopen that. Nice, up 54%. Let's go. Yeah, I had a small percentage. Oh, sorry, a small position on it, and it kind of flirted with like a couple percentage here, a couple percentage there. Let's see. We're almost there. We'll probably end this video at 10:30. Since they want to beat me up. Yeah. Trying to build a base here, but I don't think that base is gonna hold. As I said, that 696 level was a very tough area. They let it kind of go a little bit above that 696 and then they reversed. I want to kind of wait for 10:30. I'm not gonna lie. Just to kind of like really be sure that this is going. Okay, so this is probably the area that they could bounce it. This is that trend line. What's jerkish about this was because I was literally saying like, you know, in the next 15 minutes probably gonna change, tell the direction of the day. Kind of committed on that upside when they went back inside of the opening range. But now that we touched here, could this be another sweep and then they're gonna just push it up? Nice, Neil. Let's go. 100% push. All right, a minute and 23 seconds. We might close the 5 minute under this level. This might be put city. Jeez, sliding off the cracker. I'm mad he had the cheese and the slide emoji. But he's missing the cracker. Where's the cracker? Alright, so we got this area that I'm curious about. This is this area here. Could that be the area that it's going to really dump? And that's why I want to wait for this 5 minute to finish. Because they could try to tweezer bottom it. And now that's my 45 minute right there. And here's the 5 minute. And this is what the 5 minute looks like. But we're below that trend line. So there could be some retracement here. Alright, there goes my alert. It looks like it wants to kind of like give you that continuation to the downside, especially when they ignored the 5 minute morning star. I could see this being more downside. kind of look like they're trying to tweeze the bottom. It really does look like they're going to try it. But we broke very, very strong key levels. So I'm very curious on how they're going to try to do this. They broke above a level I was a little uncomfortable with, but then they just dumped right through. And it broke through that level again. Yeah, it might not be a good day. Had a strong day yesterday, but this one is I can see that as the Stoke is being below here, but this is the one that really makes me think that we probably got some more down. Is that 15-minute just continues to rock to the downside. And I think that's what's going to end up happening. They might retest into here, and then it just kicks right back off, and we're going after this area at 478. But this is the area that the bulls have to buy back. And there goes my liquidation of the bulls. This is the area that the bulls have to buy back, or we take out this area and we could free fall. I'm still thinking we could free fall, but I'm just gonna wait for it to break a support, because they just stepped in with support here, and I'm kind of iffy about it. I'm kind of iffy with the support. Like I said, the higher time frames, some of them are bullish. I'm gonna be very cognizant on this. You out 148, 145%. Listen, there we go. He got it right. The chief. I appreciate you, Neil. I'm looking for them to break under 526. I think we're going to. I don't like the support at 519, 518, but we'll see. Interesting spot here. This 570, 571, that's our trend line right here. Does it break back above and continue to the upside, or is this the area of resistance and it gives a kiss of death and we finally break this trend line that is from October 2023? That's what I'm looking for. I was looking for it to continue if we bounce off of it, or break all the way down. Let's come back to the 5-minute. Yes, you did make higher highs, but do you liquidate those bulls that just made that higher high? 5-minute fair value gap. They're back in it. Yeah, I think I probably played it too early, only because I was banking on the Morningstar. But you could kind of see with this Morningstar, we had a nice little Stoke cross up. This was starting to bend like it was going to break through, and it wasn't a bad idea. But this bullish divergence kind of makes this a little bit more sound of an entry. Let's see if they spring a bear trap on the bulls. I don't think we really went anywhere per se. Still looking for us to break under 26 before I consider anything short. All right, here comes the breakdown. 526, can you break it? Or do we turn into a double bottom? That could happen too. They really are bouncing this up at that 530 level. But like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that we're rejecting the October 2023 trend line, I probably wouldn't even be looking for downside. But this is very, very interesting. Five-minute try to be bullish. Kind of sold it off. Could this be our lower high? I did say we was gonna be out of here at 10:30, but this is looking more and more interesting. 526. That's what we're looking for. 526, 527 ish, somewhere around that ballpark. 'The Bears and the Bulls are fighting. I think they sprung the bear trap on them, but it failed. So it's starting to look like they might be bullish. At 30 levels, holding tight. Oof, that was a little violent. They just made a lower low on that 5-minute. I know they're gonna try to hold this pivot at 13. but I still think that that 526 level is what I'm probably going to be aiming for. All right, so they kind of recovered it. We're back above my other level. I was looking at 544 to get to the 550. This could be where, yep, that 530 level was just holding on strong. So it's starting to look more and more like a double bottom. Still looking at this trend line. If it gets above this wick, that's when I probably will be more of a, yep, they got above that wick. So they did one last sweep. Yeah, I was looking for the downside. All right, it looks like this thing is just going to kind of stay a little rangy, probably because of the jobs report and how it came out. Let me go ahead and let y'all go. A little bit of a rough day. Let me go ahead and pull this up for y'all because transparency is always key. I gave it a couple attempts. Where is my PL? Okay, there it is. Transparency is key. So here is my PL. Took 2 shots at it. Down 900. I'll probably make it up throughout the day. We'll see how that goes. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and give y'all the rest of y'all day. Listen, by all means, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button down below. Not every day is going to be a green day, but it's how you cut it off. You can go ahead and make sure you stay consistent. Don't forget, the link is down below. Get yourself a prop account. That way you can go ahead and trade. Not for my new traders. New traders, paper trade until you get it, and then go ahead and get your prop account. That said, y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all on Mindset on Saturday and back right here at 9:15 on Tuesday. I almost said Monday. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.